Another damned winter storm. Well, it's another storm, which means more storm food. And tonight, I'm going to make a storm chili. A friend of my home base from Texas who doesn't particularly like our chili. She says, there shouldn't be beans in the chili. There should be big chunks of meat as well, almost done like a stew with no tomatoes. Or however you do her accent. Anyway, which is true for making Texas chili. You don't put any of that stuff in there. So I decided I was going to try to combine the two and make Texas chili slash wherever the hell it is that we call chili. For this recipe, you're going to need some sausage meat, a little bit of dark chocolate, I shit you not, mushrooms, either fresh or canned. I have both. Roast. This is still on from the same sale from earlier. Bacon by Maple Leaf. Various beans. I'm using kidney beans, a 6-bean blend, and I might need to put that in there. I don't know. A little bit of beef broth, a bottle opener there, green pepper, tomatoes, tomato paste, garlic, onions, celery's back there. Say hi, celery. Hi. Now, at the end, I'm going to garnish it with sour cream, cheese, and nacho chips. And storm food isn't storm food without a little drink. So my favorite Nova Scotia wine is Grand Prix Lac de Blanc white wine. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Does it go with chili? No, but it drinks really well. So when you're making a chili, it's a perfect drink. Shipbuilder cider, which is my favorite cider. And I'm using this Saint Amboise oatmeal stout, and that's going to be going into the chili itself. Oh my god, I forgot about the chili. This spice blend here I made from Bulk Barn. It's ancho, chipotle, habanero, as well as normal chili powder. It's very, very hot. We're not going to need a whole lot of it. I also have cumin and coriander, which I'm going to put in later. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop my vegetables up, so that's done with. Now, I don't want them too big, but I don't want them too small either. Just small little cubes. Just slice them up really nicely and evenly. Some people wanted me to demonstrate how the Godfather helps us opening cider. Well, just take it and put your finger right there. And for you nerds out there, Casey, what is going to act as the fulcrum?
Your knuckle.
My knuckle. Basically, this chili is a 2-bottle of wine type of chili. You could do it in one, but why bother? Really. Make sure you always wash your cutting boards and your hands, especially when using meat and vegetables. If you want to take the skin off this without crushing it, just stick it in your hands and go, and right there. Of course, your hands are going to be stained with garlic, but let's face it, your hands are probably stained with other stinky things in your life too, so garlic ain't too bad. I got this little doohickey at the market in Mahone Bay. There's some British guy that sells these things. He has a little microphone. It's kind of obnoxious. Annie said she doesn't put water in it. Maybe that's why hers goes fucky. Yeah, that's probably why it goes fucky. You just take it and you can just Again, this top sirloin was on sale for I think $8 a kilogram at Sobeys. I'm gonna chop this up and into chunks, and I'm gonna sear them off, and I'm gonna braise them. And instead of using hamburger meat, I'm using this. Never be afraid to make additions or subtractions to whatever it is you're cooking. I am adding a little JB Shore spice drum, now my favorite spice drum. There we are. Nova Scotia's finest spice drum, JB Shore. Now, big chunks of meat are easier to brown when I brown that, just like we did for the meat pies. Brown this thing. And we're gonna braise it. It's gonna fall apart when you stick it in your mouth. That was in a movie called that. And we're going to chop up some bacon, and gonna take the sausage meat out of its little casings. I'm gonna fry that up and add it to it. Now, for the sausage meat, you just have to cut into the skin and just pull your sausage meat out. And we're going to stick it in that bowl, and we're going to fry it up, and we're going to add it to the, the thing we're making. The chili, yes. Okay. Should I talk about my sausage further? Yeah. All right. Now this bacon, I'm just going to cut it into lardons. If you don't know what a lardon is, that's a lardon. Just like little tiny strips here. Oh boy. The meat process should take around 1 glass of wine. But don't be afraid to add another if you like. I happen to like a lot of beans in my chili, so here's some beans. The 6-bean mix. I like kidney beans. I like using white beans. And you don't want vegetables in it, don't put vegetables in it. Although if you don't like onions or garlic, I think that you're dead to me, and you're probably a spawn of Satan. I like using lots of onions and lots of garlic. I'm using 2 heads of garlic, and I'm using 4 onions. Now, before you sear your meat, you should season it. Now, I've seasoned it with Montreal steak spice. Now, what you do is you start them off and go like in a clockwise pattern. That way, you know what was the first piece of meat that you put in. We all have that sexually promiscuous friend who seems to have like a really awesome time no matter where they go and what they do. Well, bacon is that promiscuous friend in the sexual nature. Now, we've got the vegetables, the onions and the celery sauteing up here. The onions, Jesus Christ. We have the peppers and the mushrooms sauteing down here. And we're going to season it, not with salt and pepper, but with Montreal steak spice. Yo, that's right. Montreal steak spice. Now, the pan's steaming hot. Add a little bit of oil, because there's a lot of fat in the sausages, but we're still going to need a little bit more. We're going to add the sausages, and we're going to cook it up like loose hamburger. Again, we may need to do this in batches. The sausage meat is bubbling away. Now, we're going to be adding a little more beef stock later, but this is the tomato paste. We're going to use it to thicken everything up. and it's really bitter. So I'm gonna add this to that pan of frying sausage meat, and that's just gonna kind of develop the sugars a little bit and take the bitterness out. I'm going to deglaze the pan with the rest of the beer. This is just beer deglazed in the pan. It makes it very nice and chocolatey and rich, and it's gonna give the chili just an added dimension that's going to be oh so amazing. Time to add the beans. Since I'm doing this and filming, I've lost some. It's okay. That looks really good now, actually. Anyway, now that all the meat and everything's together, we're just gonna add our spices. But first, I'm gonna add a little bit of Fume Liquid Woodland Natural Hickory Smoke flavor. Just a couple little dashes. A little goes a long way. I went to the bulk barn and I got ancho chili and chipotle and habanero and just regular chili pepper. Now I've used this for a long time. I'm getting at the bottom of it. I'm going to buy some more, but I'm going to add some of this to the chili. Now, only put it in a little bit at a time because it is frigging hot. Look at my face. I'm only adding about a tablespoon of that at first. I can always add more, but I cannot take any more away. Add a little bit at a time. Bought a little smoked paprika. Add a little bit of this to your stew at a time, or add a lot. Really, I'm going to add a lot. Gives it a nice smoky flavor, nice richness, and it really rounds everything out. Add 2 tablespoons of coriander and cumin, or 1, depending how much you have. I have enough to feed an army, so I'm adding 2. Or you can just start with 1 and build from there, whatever you like. Couple squares of dark non-sweetened chocolate. I forgot to add it earlier. I'm just going to add it now at the very end. It's going to add a bunch of different dimensions to it. And like I said, it's a day after Remembrance Day. It's going to...
Valentine's Day.
Oh, shit. It's a day after Valentine's Day. Little chocolate is going to make it look amazing. The only thing left to do is to taste it. She's hot. So this is the final product. Storm Chili.